Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today, after I just got done fanboying, boy, uh, apparently I need to stop drinking. Um, Over the Green River Foolproof, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna do a rye here. Um, this is the only rye that I have on the docket right now, and so why not just do it, get it out of the way. Heard a lot of great things about Green River Rye that's been on my whiskey list for quite a long time, actually. And so when I saw this down in Casper in July when I was down there, I thought, hey, yeah, of course, I'm going to buy that. So this is their straight rye. It's hard to get over this price tag. $33.34. I mean, that's kind of what pretty much any rye is going to run you at a minimum these days. Man, I really wish I had gotten my distillery up and running when I wanted to back in like 2015, 2016. Because I would be producing rye like nobody's business. But it's ringing in at 95 proof. So it's coming in, a lot of ryes are ringing in at that 90 proof. This is popping in just a little bit higher than that. But this whiskey was the first whiskey review that I had ever seen from Green River in Owensburg, yeah, Kentucky, and it's what got pretty much Green River on my whiskey list. So, as a rye fan, also, yes, they're killing it with the bottles. I said this in the last review, but the horseshoe's pretty awesome. And if you're not aware, the last review was the foolproof bourbon. But as a rye fan, $33 bottle is awesome. A little bit higher proof point, also awesome. And yeah, when I tried this, I got some good things to say about it. Now, I'm probably not going to fanboy about this as much as I was about that foolproof bourbon, but we'll see. We'll see where this goes, because as you can tell, I've only had a couple sips out of this. It's been a while, so I don't really remember what I'm getting into. I just remembered I like it. So, on the nose, it's coming in pretty bourbon. I'm getting a sweet caramel, confectioner sugar, a little bit of dry, dusty grain, but a lot of sweet notes. You could almost convince me that this is kind of leaning into that cherry, kind of almost bordering on, if I dare say, almost leaning into a Buffalo Trace distilling profile. There's a little bit of peanut on the nose. This is very bourbon in the nose. All right, going in on the taste. All right, erase what I said about fanboy. I'm probably gonna fanboy all over this thing. Wow. All right, how to put that in words? It's light in its notes. They're not heavy hitting, oily, viscous, clingy, dark, rich notes. They're very light and effervescent-y. But man, is there a flavor profile there? There's probably, I mean, this is the Dr. Pepper of whiskey right now, of rye whiskey for sure. There's so many flavors that just ran through my mouth that it's going to be hard to pin them down. And actually, that Dr. Pepper is probably a good tasting note somewhere in that beginning profile where it was sweet, it was caramely, a little bit syrupy, but not heavily and clingy. Syrupy sweet, I would say, but it was caramel. You could definitely pick up the rye grain in that kind of end of the mid palate or end of the beginning, edging into that mid palate. But it was really, really light. This is like an easy drinking summer drink all day long. It's not hefty. It's not a time commitment. There's no like sitting around waiting for it to kind of change and morph. I mean, this was just straight out of the gate great. There was a lot of sweet notes, and it finished up with a lot of nice rye notes without being spicy. It was very bourbon on the finish, even where the rye notes, like the mint, like a spearmint, and kind of those herbal notes. I don't remember there being any vegetal notes, but like just kind of the. I mean, again, think green with the green labels, like that a rye normally has. Like it doesn't have a spicy, like dark black licoricey note per se, like that anise or anything like that. But the herbal, the spearmint, um, definitely is in there. All right. So now that I said all that, let's see if I can actually get you some tasty notes while I'm experiencing them. The nose is still super light, but kind of caramely. So here we go. Again, it's kind of starting off. It's a little bit thin, a little bit watery thin, but then it immediately, it's like one click, then boom, sweet caramel, confectioner sugar, minty, uh, herbal like a basil, um, brown sugar on the finish mixed with a mint, a little bit of oak kick in there. Um, Man, I'm trying to figure out like what that is, man. It's like a dessert. This is like drinking a mint julep with a piece of like I don't know, like apple pie or apple crisp or apple crumble, caramel apple crumble is what I would say. Like caramel apple crumble and a mint julep on a hot summer day. Boom, there you go. All the notes of those two things are in this bottle. It's awesome. It's not blowing me out of the water from the heft and the density of those flavors. It's just a nice, light, super easy drinking whiskey at an amazing price point and a good proof point. Um, this has no faults. The one improvement would be I don't know if at a higher proof if it would bring the heft, but if somehow you could get those flavors to have a denser flavor profile, but still keep exactly what's there, this would be absolutely astounding. So I guess I'm gonna have to find a higher proof rye to see if I can find that flavor profile. That would be the only improvement that I personally think you could make on it. That is absolutely fantastic whiskey. And what did I say? $33.34 in Casper. I mean, shoot, I'm gonna buy that every time. So fantastic bottle. I see why everybody is just raving about Green River. Both these bottles they're worth the money I paid for them, which is not very much. What is that? 70, 41, and 33. So $74 for two bottles of whiskey. That's absolutely ridiculous. They're both phenomenal. So you can find yourself a bottle of this Green River Rye or that full proof bourbon. Do it. Buy it. They're cheap. They're fantastic. They're worth every penny of it. Um, and I think you're really, really going to enjoy them because they're on the sweeter end of the spectrum, but they're not overly sweet. They're not candy sweet. And they have enough complexity to it that if you really sit with them and really pick them apart, you are going to find you're gonna find them interesting, and you're really gonna push your path. I just got a flavor note in my brain that I'm not sure people are gonna like, but and I mean this is like cutting away at the very edge of this flavor profile. You'd really, really have to be picky to find this, but I experienced it for the first time this last spring over in Rapid City. We stopped at a candy emporium, a candy store there in Rapid City, and they had a whole wall of saltwater taffy, and one of the flavors was dill pickle, which if you're like my wife, you'd go, oh my gosh, that sounds disgusting. She hates dill pickles. But the dill pickle Laffy Taffy, it is odd, it is weird, it is nothing I've ever craved in my life and probably never will. But don't dislike it. That weird, sweet, sugary, confectioner sugar sweetness, vanilla mixed with dill. I think I can say I can find that on the very edge of this flavor profile, somewhere in there. Just a little bit. That's kind of my final tasting note. Boom, right there in the middle of the mid palate. Might be able to tweak out a little bit of that. And it's good in a good way. So there you go. Drop in the comments down below. What do you think? Have you ever tried it? What can you find it for in your area? I'm going to encourage everybody to go out and buy a bottle of this. If you are not a rye drinker, pick this up. You might change your opinion on ryes. This is one of those ones that could definitely send bourbon drinkers down the rye rabbit hole. And as a rye fan, this is what I would call a bourbon drinker's rye. This is a non-traditional rye, in my opinion. At that price, why wouldn't you pick one up? So, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. You guys have yourselves a great day. Obviously, the whiskey's starting to kick in. I am going to do one more. We're going to do 1792, and that will be the last one for today, because that's plenty of whiskey for any one man in a short period of time, and I still have family obligations upstairs. So, you guys have yourselves a great day. We'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.